Hello, my Pisces loves. Thank you for allowing me to do this reading for you, and thank you for joining me here at the Oracle of the Feather Crown Tree. This is your monthly reading for the Virgo season that we're in, and the center card in this reading is representing your heart space, so it's there suggesting leadership from this area, learning how to act from this area. And then the wheel surrounding it is for the different astrology houses, starting with the first house in the center on the left and then working counterclockwise around the wheel will bring us to the 12th house. I am kind of nervous, excited to do this reading, I think because I am a Pisces sun myself, so I'm interested to see what's going to emerge. I don't know about you guys, but I've had such a strange reality for the last 3 weeks or so. But a beautiful, strange reality that I'm on this precipice of feeling as if anything could happen. Life could just sort of bestow anything out of nowhere. So it's very enlivening, I will have to say that, and maybe you've been experiencing that as well, just feeling sort of reinvigorated, like you're not necessarily stable, but you're kind of like asked to be in the flow, asked to be, part of the change that is happening. So let's get into this then. This first card is truly coming across like a work of art to me. It has the presence of a work that predates modern art by just a little bit. I want to say like the 1930s, maybe. I should know this, but I'm not quite sure where the avant-garde lays, but it's got that quality of the avant-garde in it. So maybe there's something associated with that or the 30s that you maybe want to look at. This is really, it's becoming even more intense. So I feel like if you focus on this, you'll actually start to see it get grow in its intensity very quickly, where you may even want to shut it off and hide it away from you. It's something that you may peer into that just sort of pierces you so intensely back that can kind of overwhelm you a little bit. And it may seem sideways in reality. So this may be something that's out of the normal perspective that's expected of you. And sort of defies not only expectations, but logic, or at least turns it on its side. Yeah, so something's going on here, and it's in that position where you're going to be generating your actions from here. So it's in your thoughts, it's affecting your emotions, and then that's empowering your behaviors. Very interesting. Now, I feel like as I move over to your first house of the identity that you're projecting into the world, that this is definitely carrying some of this strangeness, but you have sort of packaged it in a way that feels a little bit lighter, a little bit more socially acceptable. It's still mystical and fun and playful, and a little bit sprite, but it's not suggesting as that it's as strange and almost perverse. I do not mean that sexually, but just, contorted, distorted. And you're holding it, you understand it, but you're allowing this to be integrated in a way that is palatable, that still appears really beautiful, that doesn't have any off-putting energy, and in fact it's very powerfully inviting. It is enticing. It suggests that you can transform other people. This is the type of energy that is so Pisces. It's so otherworldly, like only your energy could achieve this, and it's you in your energy. So how magnificent. It holds power at the same time of holding gentleness too. So, but there's almost like a third component. There's something hidden, that's something that we can't even perceive with the mind, with the polarity, but we just know, we get the feeling that there's this like a third element that exists, that X factor thing coming through here that you may not even be aware that's coming through. So it may be people are kind of picking up on what you're not being overt about, and the suggestibility of that is so enthralling. So I don't know if that's actually going on, but if it is, wow. So your second house, the house of value. I am seeing here you have started a fire, and depending on what perspective one has in relation to this fire, it could seem minor. It's just like a little fire, but in fact it's huge, it's massive, so you may be able to really take out a lot of history, a lot of structures that were there that for some reason need to go, that are no longer reality. You're no longer going to endorse them as reality, and you realize that even though it seems minor, sort of that ripple effect too with the pebble in the water, that the process that you're starting here has the potential to, at a foundational level, transform. And not only at the level of foundation, but what's already been in existence, to get rid of it, to be able to do away with it. And that is where you're looking for value right now. And it has a lot to do with insight and the mind and thoughts. Okay, so third house, communication, community. It looks like you are standing on the foundation that you are going to build from. You're saying it doesn't have to be stable. It actually needs to move. It is ancient. It is the wisdom that maybe we've lost, this very ancient wisdom that isn't, it's not about it being solid. It's not about it creating a foundation that never moves. It's about a foundation that needs to move. And I don't know, there's something about this that is just making me laugh. So it's like you've learned to take, you're taking the technology, the Shiva Shakti dance of transformation, of the cycle of life and destruction, and integrating that into a very modern ideology, or seeing how that technology, that ancient technology, has actually built the technology that we have today, that it's one and the same, that they're completely linked and related. You know, the IA emphasis that we have, the robots that we have, relates directly to the ancient Indian technology, you know, things coming out of the Upanishads. So this seems to be what you want to communicate about, and part of the community that you're interacting with right now. And there is a fantastical element about it, and, you know, kind of like a quirkiness, but it's really odd. It's really, again, it's just like this energy that only Pisces could touch. It is so far out of the norm. You know, I think that like Aquarius can go there, but then Pisces just takes it to this whole other unexpected dimension. Okay, so I'm going to move now to the 4th house, which is your home and your family, your ancestry. And here I feel like you're just in the smoke, you're in the aftermath of whatever forest fire you've been burning, and you're just completely smoked out. Maybe you're burning a lot of incense in your home. Maybe you're smoking a lot of something in your home. But there's something about that quality, that presence, the smoke itself, and the aftermath of the fire, you know, what's still kind of smoldering there. And, you know, the space is still hazy and you can't quite see what is even, you know, existing. Like visually, it's just full of distortion. So you may be in the process of transforming your home somewhat, and really doing a full demolition and rebuild, or at least to one space. But you're coming through that process, and you're still unclear about what's next, like where this is going, what the form is going to be. And you're acknowledging that it's a process, which I think is a wonderful energy to be able to be in, because sometimes we need a plan, sometimes we need to know the destination, and this is being okay with just being in a moment and not knowing where it's going. Okay, so your 5th house, which is about your presence on the public stage, more so, how you're interjecting yourself into reality, and what kind of respect you get back from that, kind of your rapport with the self that you present out in the world. Now, what I get here is you may be playing many roles. You may be trying out different roles. You may be not really caring as being identified as a certain role. I do get that you kind of know that you are, you know where you originate from. You know that you can always hold the original role. You know what the primordial character is. You know who or what that character description is of the first leader, the first actor, the first whatever that there was. And then you understand that there's all this proliferation around it, all these different opportunities that you can use to be of, or to assert a certain quality or character out into the world, you know, almost like costuming. Yet you know your personal truth. You know that that your selfhood is connected to this sort of primary energy. And it's very resourceful. Like there's also this sense of like you're not intimidated. Like you can be the crafter, you can be the librarian, you can be the bringer of wisdom, of healing. And and it's like you can do this in any space, in any environment. So you may be, considering a lot of different roles. Maybe you're looking for jobs right now, and you may be considering moving to different areas, what you want to do. But there's this real sense of like, you see all of this as pretend, like your true self, and you're honoring that, and you're kind of observing everything at a distance from a loftier position, and you're just kind of like, I don't know if I want to play in this game. I don't know if this feels like it's honoring myself or purposeful, or is authentic, is necessary even. So maybe really look at this essential energy that you're in, which is the energy of the original goddess. It's like the original wisdom bringer, the original shaman. You hold so much power here to teach humanity from this position. So maybe look at this role that you have and really come to understand how it can integrate into reality, especially if it seems a little too far out, if it doesn't seem like it's practical, basically. And figure out how to make that work in reality, and how you won't be ignored or dismissed because of it, because right now it feels like you're a little bit invisible in this realm. Okay, now I'm going to look at your 6th house, daily routines, health. And I'm just going to say there's something here where you may have a special someone, like a love interest that's come in here. Or you realize that you kind of need this, that in partnership you feel healthier. In partnership, daily life becomes easier and more fruitful for you, that you blossom with partnership around you, that somehow it really creates a daily reality that helps you. Because I see you in this so far in this reading like as such an odd, otherworldly, character, that maybe something in this realm, and it may be a Virgo, may be really good for you, that brings that level of reality, that brings that sort of opposite energy to you, to give you a little bit of footing in reality, and makes life a little bit easier to live in the 3D itself, and can help you flourish. And that would benefit the other person as well, because it looks like you're able to cooperate in this space with another. It's not like you're just this wild unicorn running around in this space, that you actually can equally contribute to collaborating for growth. But yeah, there's just something here that's coming through about a partnership or something. And this energy isn't in such high contrast to you where they are not like they can't relate to you. So you know, there's this beautiful like synthesis, like you are of the same mindset, maybe of the same reality, like you get one another. And because of that, even though you kind of have the same level of like what you want to create together, you know how to use different energies together to create that reality that you want. That's like your own special reality. And there's a tinge of it being something that feels maybe gently ennobled, maybe a little bit of a past energy, a time when when humans lived from a space that was, you know, not of this contemporary space, basically, that used magic a little bit more, that found reality a little bit more enchanting, that used symbolic language alongside of other types of language. Okay, so looking now at your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, balance, harmony, beauty. I see you in this energy of being, of taking historical modalities, the best of the best, like you've gleaned history for the moments of revelation, you've uncovered through your work, it's like you understand the history of the spiritual, like you get all the signs and symbols. You've decoded spirituality from the past, and you're able to now work with that in a way that, like, you've integrated it completely, these different components, into who you are. And through this, you have achieved quite a level of healing. Like, this is an energy that you have needed to wear, that you've needed to discover and explore and be in. And we see you using this as a way to relate to other people. So right now you may be a spiritual healer, or, you know, still gaining mastery here of this. And this is how you're going to be maybe relating with people now in your environment. And it doesn't feel like there's trickery involved, or that you're trying to hide anything, but you are in possession of secret knowledge, basically, now, that to other people they may not completely understand. So you may not overtly be demonstrating this. There may be times, like when you're cloaked, when you're behind closed doors, when you're in your own home environment, that you can be of this, you know. But you may not be showing it in its full expression in the outer world yet. You may be appearing energetically with all of this, but not actually physically, except you know, in the luxury of your own privacy. But there's something really like it's nurturing you so much to be of this, to become this. Okay, so I'm going to look at your 8th house now of self-investigation. And it seems that what you're doing here is in the intellectual space, in more of the third eye. You may be working with your third eye, your psychic power, putting a lot of energy here, knowing that this is a space that you need to develop more, and allowing the wisdom to come in. Not only the wisdom, but the knowledge to enter. Acknowledging that a portal needs to open here, and that there's an entire world that exists here, and that you need to know how to inhabit it and be able to not be intimidated by this space and not understand the landscape. It feels a little bit uninhabited by you, a little intimidating because of it. You don't know your way around, you have no map. But I think that if you ask to be guided here, if you ask to connect to a leader here, that there is the opportunity that you'll be able to learn and navigate this space and have it become more familiar and not feel threatening, not feel like this forest that you can't go into in the nighttime or something. So yeah, I encourage you to give that a chance to go into that area and develop your familiarity with it. Okay, I'm looking now at your 9th house. This is a space that is outside of what you know right now. So this is what you can become more aware of. And I feel like this is connected to the card that is before it and the card before that, like meditation, that if you engage, it's like books won't serve you, I feel here. There's no outside source of information that you can connect to, no program on TV or, any technology that can give you anything. That this is a process of going within, of allowing your third eye to develop. I'm getting quite a few like third eyes throughout here. So really working with this chakra, this space, and starting to open up this area for yourself. Because it feels like you're holding a lot of wisdom of the ancients, of what's come before you, of what has been recorded in our 3D realm, and that there is like an entire other reality that holds information for you as well, that you need to learn to become a student of. Okay, so now we're going to look at your 10th house, which is your where you're really achieving your legacy in the world. What's, how you're kind of serving the public at your best. And I see that it feels like there's been some research in things of the past, of magical symbols, of languages of the past, and that you've really been holding this as one of the focal points of what you're doing. I see you, it's almost like you're in a library and you're the Akashic records even here. Yeah, so I guess what I'm getting here is like this space feels a little bit unfamiliar, so you may be stepping into this now. you may be learning how to really get into the knowledge, this knowledge that transcends religion, that's really more about spirituality, about what was, what is, and what will be. And you are going to need to be comfortable communicating with energies that are higher than you to be able to help you translate this. And you are going to need to be in an energy where you have strength to move through this process, and to be in this space and not feel intimidated by it, and feel the support of the bearers of wisdom that have been before you, and the eternalness of this, and the massiveness of all this, and how you participate in this, and that this is really foundational for you. It's really where you want to grow from. So yeah, so again, this is kind of relating to the previous 3 cards. I feel like you are on some path of becoming a spiritual master, maybe. And if it's not in spirituality, it may just be in your own field. Something that requires a lot of study, a lot of mastery, a lot of mental activity. And that kind of transcends just your own need to know it, that it's, part of the process of helping humanity evolve. Okay, so I'm now looking at your 11th house of hopes, dreams, desires, and also your individuality and your connection to humanity. And, profundity comes through here again, and that sort of extra dimension that Pisces can only really tap into. It feels like there are realities on top of realities, and none of them could be pre-imagined. None of them could be expected. They are just sort of appearing and layering on top of one another, kind of out of nowhere. So, again, you may be continuing this process of investigation. There may be a lot of revelatory things coming through that are communicated either symbolically, in different ways that, information can be carried, even vibrational, and that it's sort of like overtaking your reality, and especially your headspace. There is, a profound sense of awakening here, and growth towards something that just feels beyond anything that you've ever imagined before. It's sort of like if you've been seeking for a while, you've arrived. Like you are now in an energy where you could just be confounded too, where you're like, I've been looking for this for 20 years, Like I thought I had used all these tools and modalities to get there, and then all of a sudden, boom, like it's just being delivered. So it may just be you're in the right place at the right time, part of this evolutionary cycle where, it's just part of the process of being in this universe, at this time. It's amazing. Okay, so your 12th house, self-transcendence, super conscious. I see you a little bit, kind of a little bit wore thin, like you haven't been maybe paying attention so much to your physical self, that you've been very, very focused on your third eye, your inner world, your psychic development, knowledge that you're gaining about things. And you're really concentrating your energy in this area, and you're probably not really focused on much else but this. And, you know, for some reason, it just feels like you have to succumb. Like there's almost like a personal sacrifice going on here where you're like, whatever, it's like now or never. If I don't allow myself to absorb this, if I don't engage this, I may never get this opportunity again. And so you are, you know, giving this what it needs of you. You're allowing yourself to channel this basically and to integrate this information and imprint this information into you. So kind of heavy, kind of intense. Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to reveal here, but I got to a place that I didn't foresee coming through. So amazing. I am so happy that you joined me for this reading. It was such a pleasure to share this information with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And sending you blessings, wishing you well, and thank you for doing the work, even if you are somehow sacrificing part of yourself. I hope that through that act, you will gain restoration for allowing yourself to be so deeply integrated into this process, which I truly feel is helping humanity at large. So again, thank you, sending you my blessings and much love to you.